Okay, thank you so much for joining me on this video today. If you are new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, and share anything that you feel is super helpful for you and that has helped you kind of maybe just have a different perspective on things, etc. So, today's video is all about procrastination. So the top 3 things that you can do to be able to kind of beat procrastination. So, what procrastination is? So, procrastination is the act of delaying doing a task or a set of tasks. And really, how that shows up, especially as entrepreneurs and business owners, it's really about the way that we find other things to do. You know, when you have an email to write or an email funnel to build, and you do everything else, like be on YouTube, like going, it be in Instagram, scrolling through Instagram, etc. Or even just like reading or learning something new, when really you need to be doing the one thing that you really want to get done. But because you don't know how, you literally do other things that makes you feel a bit more comfortable. So when you have that discomfort of, okay, I know I need to do this, but because it's not straightforward, I'm gonna put it off till tomorrow, basically. And how that shows up for me is when I had a launch not long ago, and I started, it's even hard to even admit, but I started to build my digital strategy because I saw the gaps in my business during my last launch. I thought, oh, okay, they're highlighting to me a lot. Like every day, it's almost like I got a new sense of action for me to do. So I therefore started looking into digital strategy, digital marketing strategy, and started to build my own. In the middle of a launch, because it was so uncomfortable being in the launch, although my mindset, we're doing the practices, before you know it, you're doing something else. It's almost like it's literally an automatic thought pattern. So as soon as you are in a space where you are feeling really uncomfortable, you don't know the next step, you don't know how to do what it is that you need to do, because the thing is, we all know how to do something, but because we don't want to fail at it, we don't want to be bad at it, we want to get it right the first time, we therefore don't put our all into it, and we think, okay, if I can't do it 100%, get it right for the first time, not fail at it, literally, if that is not on the table and we know we're certainly going to get it done in that way, we then procrastinate and do other things to make ourselves a bit more comfortable, and then potentially look back at it because we think, okay, if I do it later, then I will feel better about it, gain more knowledge, feel more rested, had time off, whatever it is we are using as an excuse. Those are the things that we think were going to make us feel better about tackling it at a later date. So until tomorrow. So this video is all about 3 steps for you to be able to actually pause on the procrastination, because a lot, like I said, it's automatic. So sometimes you don't even know that you're doing it until you're like, oh, gosh, it's been a whole day and I haven't done anything that I needed to do. I'm still procrastinating. I'm still thinking about this thing, the problem, the challenge that I've got, and I'm not any further forward in knowing exactly how I'm going to solve it. So what we do is the steps on learning, because it's all about the way you make decisions, your thought patterns. So with mindset, with your brain, everything that we have as an action or as a goal to do, we have a way of taking steps in before we take one step forward, if that makes sense. So in your head, you have decisions that you make. So you have thoughts that lead to other thoughts that then lead to a feeling that therefore leads to an action, which creates a result of hopefully the success of whatever the task is. So in order for us to get out of the habit of consistently just deviating our attention elsewhere to make ourselves feel more comfortable about the things sitting right in front of us. That's such a pain in the ass in our mind, that we therefore start to consistently repeat those patterns of dealing with that situation. So in order to stop the pattern of behavior, we have to literally interrupt it. So in order to do that, there's 3 steps that I've put together that have really helped me, and I know it will potentially help you, and you can just try them out and see how you go. And the next time you feel like you're actually doing other things other than the thing that you need to do. So first one is start everything with the end in mind. So when you, for example, finish everything you start. So if you get up in the morning and you jump out of bed and then you just go into the bathroom, stop in that moment and be like, okay, I started something, I've got out of it, so I've unmade my bed, I'm getting out of bed, so I have to make it back up. So you have to start everything and finish it. Make sure and you force yourself to follow things all the way through. So a lot of the time we can get out of bed, go to the bathroom, brush our teeth, have our shower, etc. and then be like, oh yeah, I'll come back to that later sometimes. And what we need to do, because we are now training our mind to, if you start something, get out of bed, I don't have to finish it, I can come back to it later. That's basically what we're training our mind and our brains to do in a way of our pattern of thinking. So once we consistently do that, when we have bigger things that come up, so in our businesses, in our personal lives, if it's to do with losing weight, if it's to do with making money in your business, you have trained your mind that, okay, you can start something, but you can come back to it later. You can put it off until tomorrow. You don't have to finish it in that moment. So when we interrupt it and we actually have a level of start and finish, and it's in one time, it's at once, we are learning that even with the tiny things, we can do that. So when the bigger things come up, you already started that habit. You've changed that behavior, that thinking process, that decision-making process behind a particular decision that you want to make. So you're deciding to make your bed when you get out of it. Or you are deciding to start an email and you finish it. No matter how difficult that email is, you start it and you're training your mind to finish it. Because making your bed may seem very minute, but in the grand scale of things, when something then therefore becomes more important and there's a lot more, you've attached a lot of emotion to the outcome of that thing. So if it is a difficult email that you're having to write, that attachment to the result is you want that email to land well. You want that email, maybe if it's a business, to retain that client. You want that email to not fail or make you be perceived in a different way. You don't want to create someone to have an opinion on you. So it has a very deep meaning to you as to why that email is therefore difficult. Because an email is an email. It's very neutral. What we attach in the emotion is what makes that email therefore difficult. So we've put it's challenging, I'm feeling quite worried, it's quite frustrating. We've attached an emotion that we therefore have now created the label of difficult. So can you see, by making your bed, something very tiny, even like a dishwasher, when you open the dishwasher and you're like, okay, you take out one plate and one fork because you don't want to empty the dishwasher. I genuinely dislike that chore in my house, so I speak very, very personally. But you have to force yourself to finish it. When you take out one plate and one fork, you clear the rest of it. You empty it out, put it all back in the cupboards or wherever they go, and that's finished. So you start and you finish it. Basic tasks are so important because those small little steps of doing those contribute to really big ones where it's going to be really difficult for you to finish it in one go because it's just so uncomfortable for you to do that. So the second thing is really paying attention to the thoughts that you're having whilst you're procrastinating. So if you are, like I said, with the email example, if you have a difficult email to write, be very clear as to what it is you're thinking and feeling in that moment. So when you're procrastinating, a lot of the time you're feeling a level of confusion, maybe, feeling maybe a little bit frustrated, a little bit worried, a bit anxious, like very tense, heavy emotion a lot of the time, because it is conflicting, because in your mind you're conflicted. So it's called dissonance. So when you have a thought or your value doesn't match with your action. So it's like two opposing thoughts come together and they have conflict. And that there is the dissonance. So that feeling that comes within you, which therefore, because you don't like this, like, you know, the friction, therefore means you then look elsewhere to create a buffer in between it so you don't necessarily have to feel that. And that buffer is the procrastination. That buffer is you going to, you know, learn something new, or maybe go on the phone, or like whatever it may look like, whatever's comfortable for you, that is where your brain will automatically invite you to go. So when I say, you know, to think about your thoughts, you truly have to really actually be present in the moment and be like, okay, what am I doing? Which could just be, I am knee deep in YouTube, for example, learning about digital marketing strategy. And then stop. So as soon as you become aware of what you're doing, just immediately pause and literally note down, like ask yourself this question: how am I feeling? What emotion am I feeling right now? And if you're unable to articulate the emotion in words, feel how it feels in your body. So physically, how is it feeling for you? So it's about you paying attention, being present to your body, because your body physiologically will tell you what emotion you are currently experiencing. So if your back's a bit tight, or maybe you're feeling really like hunched, or you're feeling really heavy, or maybe you're feeling really tired, like those are signs that you're feeling some emotion, and it's not overjoyed and excited. You're feeling a negative emotion. So with that, pinpoint what the emotion is. Then work backwards and think, okay, so what am I thinking that's making me feel anxious, or making me feel, you know, quite tired, or whatever it is. So then it could be, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to, you know, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to write this email in a way that it's going to be received well. I don't want to lose a client over this. I don't want to, you know, be seen as a particular way that could change their opinion of me. I don't want to lose money. Whatever the thought is based around the difficult email example, that thought is what's driving the procrastination. So you learn to work backwards. You almost reverse engineer. So you go back, you look at your behavior, you then think, okay, what am I feeling right now? So pay your attention, draw your awareness to your emotions and your body, how it feels in your body. And then you then go backwards again and be like, okay, what am I thinking that's causing me to feel this way, which is making me then do this thing? So then once you get super clear on that, and you get a piece of paper, journal, your phone, notes, whatever it is, get that down, and you write down all of those things, those 3 steps. And then you then think about, okay, so what do I want to feel in order for me to be able to do this thing? So if you want to feel certain about yourself, especially when it comes to writing an email, you want to feel really certain, quite confident, you want to, you want to feel like that. What are you having to think? What would you have to think if you were feeling that way? So being in that emotion of being certain, how does someone that's certain think about writing a difficult email? They think, okay, I could think to myself, I am really professional as a coach, and I just want to have the best outcome for both my client or customer or whoever it is, and myself. That's the thought. That makes me feel certain. I feel that in my body. Like, you have to learn to feel it in your body as well. So when you say something as a thought, especially when this is intentional thought work. So when you're actually intentionally looking for a thought that matches up with a specific emotion, you have to feel it when you say it, because therefore means you know you've hit the right thought because it is creating the right emotion. So, like, for me, that felt good. That felt like I'm professional. I want the best outcome for both of us. And with that energy, I feel certain. I feel confident. My action, therefore, is write the email. And it's really important when you do this work, is because you're making, you're creating all this energy on purpose for you to learn, for you to take action. There's no point doing all this work and be like, oh yeah, I want to feel confident, I'm gonna like embody that thought and feeling, and then you don't do it. The best thing is you have to create the energy and then take action immediately from that place, because you're in that mindset, you will naturally flow. Like, if it's writing, it will flow from that thought, because now it's generating a new type of energy, a new kind of, you opened up your thoughts about this particular circumstance, and then you are able to perform or put forward in the best way possible. So that's the second thing. So it's about getting super clear on what it is you're thinking and you're feeling, and turning it around for it to be intentional, for you to be able to take action from it. And then the third thing that you can do is uncover the failures. So a lot of the time when you have procrastination, it's because you don't want to fail. Like, that's the long and short of it. You don't want to do it wrong. You don't want to look bad. You don't want to be rejected. You don't want to be judged. All of these like negative emotions, you don't want to feel them. You want to avoid them, because in your mind and in your head, your brain, it literally thinks it's dangerous. So you just don't want that. So what this exercise does, it kind of is used in therapy, where if someone is super afraid of something, it's called exposure therapy kind of thing. So you're uncovering the fail. So you're uncovering your fear and you're facing it head on. And this is a huge mindset shift tool for you to be able to use in like procrastination and other things. So when something scares you, the best thing for you to do is face it head on. Uncover what it is, look it in the eye, and be, and own and take responsibility of what that is or how you're feeling. So in this particular step, uncovering your failures is literally listing down everything you will consider around this particular circumstance. So your goal of writing a difficult email, whatever a failure would be, which is, maybe it could be that person doesn't reply, or they reply and they are really angry, or they share it with someone else. Like, every type of failure you can think of. And just in case you're struggling, it's basically anything that you know is going to make you feel rejected, make you feel humiliated, anything that makes you feel judged, anything that will make you feel very, like, in some ways unsafe emotionally, like you just feel very vulnerable, fragile potentially. So anything that's going to make you feel any of those emotions, that is failure. So whatever will trigger that, and then you write them down. You write every single one of them, no matter how small it is, write it down. It could be the thing of you looking at analytics, you see that person's clicked the email, opened it, and they still haven't responded. That's a failure, because you then feel rejected. Therefore means it's a failure to you. So uncovering the failure, and then you think, okay, from that place of that person opening the email and not responding, how do I want to think and feel and do? So you basically learn to be in ahead of time, fail ahead of time, and what specific intentional thought and action you want to take from that place. So mindset work is all about turning around where you are, reframing your world of how you see it according to a particular circumstance, and learning how to see it from a different perspective intentionally for you to be able to then operate still from a place and still get the same results. So with that, I would say, so if that person opened it and didn't respond, my intentional thought could be, I know that that person is very much in their story, and I understand that everybody has their own emotions that they have to process. So if it's something that I will hear back from her, I will. If not, then that's okay. Or it could be, I could think, I know that I was as professional as I potentially could be. I served her from the most genuine place. So if I don't hear back from her, then that's okay. I know I did all I can. Whatever those type of, so you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So you create a particular intentional thought, which then will drive an action. So my action from that thought would therefore be, maybe it's just click out of the email. That would be my action. Or it could be go and journal. Like journal how I'm feeling at that time. Or maybe it could be add her to a list of clients that I want to check in with at a later date, for example. Or something like that. So whatever the next action is, it's taking action from a place of failure. Because usually when we fail at something, we shut down. And the thought usually would be someone responding, you're like, okay, why is she not responding? What have I done? Oh my gosh, like what's going to happen? It's panic. It creates a level of panic emotion. And then the action therefore will be, literally going onto her Instagram and having a look. Has she been online? Has she posted recently? Who are her friends? Maybe her friend. Do you know what I mean? Like it creates a very destructive kind of spiral. They call it a negative thought spiral. So it triggers that spiral where it goes into self-loathing. It's only adding more and more and more negativity in emotion to what I'm already feeling. So instead of doing that, so the essence of this practice is learning to look at your fear of the failure, highlight what it is, create intentional thoughts about it, and intentionally what you're going to do. And it's just empowerment. It's just empowering you to take control of a failure that you usually wouldn't. Because a lot of the time we think failure is just happening to us. We don't think that we actually have the control to change how we think about failure. And this is a step for you to do that's so powerful in any part of your life or business, etc. It's so powerful to do. So those are my 3 steps. So those are the 3 steps to really start diminishing procrastination and interrupting it when you are aware. So 1 is for you to finish everything you start, no matter how small it is, because it will lead to helping you get to the big ones. 2 is to uncover how you're currently thinking in the moment of procrastination and what your emotions are, and learning and being able to replace them with new emotions and new thoughts intentionally to still get whatever the result is done. And 3 is uncovering the failures of what it is that you are worried about and you're trying to avoid, which is what triggers procrastination, and being able to operate from a place of that failure, what you would think and what you would do, so you are able to empower yourself to still get the same result that you're looking for without procrastination being a part of the journey. So let me know if that was helpful to you. Please do give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share, and let me know in the comments, how do you procrastinate and what steps were you going to take today for you to be able to stop procrastination in its tracks, for you to still be able to get everything done that you want to get done. All right. Thank you so much for joining me and I really appreciate it. I will see you soon.